Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between tall mountains and a quiet river, there lived two brothers. Their names were Arin and Kael. Arin was the older brother, and Kael was the younger one. From the time they were children, they were very different. Arin loved books and spent all his time reading. He wanted to know everything about the world, the names of the stars, the secrets of the ocean, the history of ancient kings. Kael, on the other hand, was quiet. He liked to sit by the river and watch the water flow. He did not read as much as his brother, but he noticed things. The way the wind moved the leaves, the way people smiled or frowned when they spoke, the way the world seemed to change with the seasons. As they grew older, their differences became even clearer. Arin became known as the most knowledgeable man in the village. He could recite poems, solve difficult problems, and answer almost any question. The villagers admired him and often came to him for advice. Kael, though, was not famous for his knowledge. He was known for something else, his wisdom. When people had troubles, they went to Kael. He did not always give them answers from books. Instead, he listened. He asked questions. And somehow, after speaking with him, people felt better. They felt understood. One day, a great problem came to the village. The river, which had always given them water and fish, began to dry up. The villagers were afraid. Without the river, their crops would die. They would have no food. The elders called a meeting and asked Arin for help. Arin stood before the people and spoke for a long time. He told them about rivers in other lands, about machines that could dig deeper wells, about ancient methods of saving water. But the villagers were confused. His words were complicated, and they did not know how to use his knowledge. Then Kael stood up. He did not speak right away. He walked to the dry river bank and knelt down. He touched the earth and stayed there silently for a long time. When he returned, he spoke softly. "The river is not gone," he said. "It has only changed its path. If we dig here, we will find water." The villagers were surprised. How did he know? But they trusted him. They dug where he pointed, and soon water flowed again. The village was saved. This event made the brothers think. Arin realized that knowing many things was not the same as understanding what to do with them. Kael understood that wisdom was not just about feeling. It was also about knowing when to act. They decided to learn from each other. Arin began to spend more time outside, observing the world instead of just reading about it. Kael started to study books, not to memorize them, but to see how others had solved problems before. Years passed, and the brothers grew old. The village prospered because of both of them. Arin's knowledge helped them build stronger houses and better tools. Kael's wisdom helped them live peacefully, solving conflicts before they became fights. One evening, as they sat by the river, Arin asked his brother, "What do you think is the real difference between knowledge and wisdom?" Kael smiled. "Knowledge is like a map," he said. "It shows you where things are, how they work. But wisdom is knowing which path to take and when to leave the map behind." And so the brothers lived out their days, each respecting what the other had learned. The villagers never forgot their lesson, that knowledge is powerful, but without wisdom, it is like a sword without a hand to hold it. And wisdom, without any knowledge at all, is like a hand without a sword, kind, but not always strong enough to help. Together they were unstoppable. The story of Arin and Kael spread far beyond their village. Travelers would come to hear it, and they would leave with a new understanding. Knowledge is the collection of facts, the gathering of truths. Wisdom is knowing how to use them, when to speak, when to listen, when to act, and when to wait. It is the difference between knowing that fire burns and understanding how to warm your hands without being burned. In the end, the river continued to flow. sometimes changing its path, just as life does. And the brothers' legacy remained, not in the books Arin had read or the quiet moments Kael had spent, but in the balance they had found between the two. For knowledge tells you what is possible. Wisdom tells you what is right. And the best life is one that learns to use both. So if you ever find yourself lost between what you know and what you feel, remember the two brothers. Seek knowledge, for it will light your way. But seek wisdom too, for it will show you where to step. And in that balance, you will find not just answers, but peace.